merciful, the truthful, and the most just. May Allah's Salam Alaikum. We thank Allah once again for allowing us to meet with you for congregational prayer service. We have so much to be grateful for. And just because you don't always see us with a painted smile on our face does not mean that we are not grateful or thankful or happy. We just recognize that we are not behind the lake of fire. It's still in front of us. And acting like everything is fine while Allah is very, very angry. You know, whenever, excuse me, if you look at the histories of people that were judged by God, whenever Allah stepped in, it was pretty much a done deal. The only one that had to find out that it was a done deal was the tender-hearted one that Allah was planning on saving. Noah thought that he could warn people, so Allah told him, go out there and warn them, Noah. He told Moses, go there and tell Pharaoh. This was so tender-hearted and kind of fearful. And so he explained to Moses that you tell him, but he's not going to let him go. I'm going to harden his heart. Moses didn't ask him how. But the point was, when you done did so much that God have to step in, you really done messed up. He don't step in because you might do better. You know, the ice done started melting. I want you need to understand me better. So I want to let you see something here. Give me a moment. It's very important that you understand that this world is a shadow of things to come. You know what that those whom we have. Let me show you something here. You know, everything in the scripture gives us, when you really understand it, it makes you realize that Allah knows it all about his. You notice, them people that make those cars, when you tell them what your car doing, you can talk to them over the phone. You tell them what your car doing, and they tell you what's wrong with it. I mean, he could you what to do to it, but he know you don't know the nomenclature and all of that kind of thing, but he could tell you over the phone what's wrong with it. Most of the time. And if you take it into his dealership, no matter what's wrong with it, they can. Their knowledge does not fall short when it comes to what they made. The Lord's arm is not short that he cannot save. That's why when Jesus told them, look, what you calling me good for? There ain't none good but one, and that's God. For all have sinned and their knowledge falls short of how to save the devil. They didn't make him. But now look. And you still haven't figured out what's going on. I'm he that liveth and was dead. And behold, I am alive forever, more and more and more. I'm not understanding less and less and less. I'm understanding more. I told you all a long time ago that John 8:44, one day I was going to be standing up quoting it to you. I know that you are Abraham's seed, but you are not Abraham's children. How long I've been trying to get you to, that simply means that the scripture is true. If you were Abraham's children, you would do whose works? My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge because you reject knowledge. Fast as I'll teach on something, and you'll sit here and you say, oh, yes, sir, yes, sir. And you go right out there. As soon as you walk out that door and keep on bickering and arguing and acting like I never said nothing. And then when your life fall apart, somehow I'm to blame. You some crazy folks. I'm not going to take the blame for your disobedience. Am I clear? You can't tell me that what I'm teaching don't work and don't bring peace, because I'm experiencing the peace from what I can stand up here and hoorah and whatnot and go back and forth with people. And when I get from up here and get through talking with you, matter of fact, I was at peace while I was doing it. I ain't got no secret animosities toward anyone. You're the one that I talk to you and check you from time to time, and I hear all kind of stuff fall out your mouth telling me what you've been thinking. And your evil thoughts that you entertained about your Lord ruined you. But that is what's written, wasn't it? You thought it was a joke? Let me show you how true this scripture is. Where did that scripture say this world's a shadow of things to come? Colossians 2. Now understand something. I'm not showing you this. I'm showing you this so you can throw out that devil that they're whispering in your ear. It's like a lot of times I'll be done corrected you, and you'll go out of my presence and go to rehashing our conversation, and then your devils tell you, oh, that ain't about nothing. And you go right back to what you was thinking before I spoke to you. That's the truth. Why you think I stood up and told you I'm not going to reconvert you every time you come into my meeting? You thought I was joking? Excuse me a minute. I gotta find Colossians. I don't never go into that book, and so it's hard for me to find sometime when I'm here there. 2 and what verse? And 17. It says, well, in the 16th verse, it says, let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of a holy day. They say holidays. It says, or of moon. That's, you notice, Ramadan begins on a certain moon, when the moon, a new moon. It says, or of the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come. But the body is of Christ. Hold on a minute. Let me see what it says. So, as we look at this, then you go over to the Holy Quran. It says, give me a minute. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, how you doing, son, man?
I'm okay, and you?
Yeah, I tried to get that number.
Well, look, brother, I'm in prayer service right now. What do you need?
Every time we are talking to
okay, what?
I'm sorry that I didn't know you was in prayer meeting.
Uh-huh.
Prayer meeting when you get a chance, sir, please. I just
Okay. Who am I talking to?
just talking to, this is my new number.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay, I'll give you a call when I get through, too.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. You didn't know. All right. Yes, sir. It says, in the second chapter and the 100 and the 100, I'm going to read, and 101st verses. It says, is it that whenever they make a covenant, a party of them cast it aside? Nay, most of them have no faith. And when there came from Allah verifying that which they have, a party of those who were given the book threw the book of Allah behind their backs as if they knew nothing. You see an example of that in the Nation of Islam. Just like you would throw, those who you've heard come in here and throw WD up in my face, or throw Minister Farrakhan or Silas or one of them up in my face, and I'll let them hear the messenger say, there ain't nobody coming behind me but God. I better tell you that. Do any of them refer to these people as the Lord God? You don't hear none of them come to you telling you they the Son of Man. But they throw it behind their back as what? As if they didn't ever hear it. That's the way the people do with the Bible and the Holy Quran. They throw it behind their back as if they knew nothing. So when you put the light behind you, the shadow of you is in front of you. And that light, as long as that light is behind you, that light is coming toward you and toward the people you walking toward. This world is a shadow of things to come. And he will show you things to come. Don't worry. The messenger told him to get out the way. He said that the truth will be so clear that you won't be able to claim there's a cloud between you and it. I stand up and say whatever I want to say about white people and anybody else, and you don't hear nobody come in here and say a thing. You can't claim there's no cloud between you and me. Ain't nobody coming in my meeting clouding the issue. Whatever I accuse you of, you guilty. I don't make that kind of error. You may try to hide the fact that you not, but ain't no hiding place. I can see. And the worst thing you can do is lie to yourself. That's what the white man tried to do. He tried to lie to himself as though he ain't done nothing. He can't come in here and tell me he ain't done nothing. So what does that say when he's up in somebody else's face talking about he ain't done nothing? He know he lying. Otherwise, why he don't say to me what he say to other people? The minute Minister Farrakhan says something about the Jews, he's an anti-Semite. I say something about him, I ain't nothing. Why? Reason when children talking to each other, they get all huffy and biggity, but when a grown person walk in, you can't get them to say nothing. We know how to pull out what's in people's hearts. As I tell you, you know, even the oath of office, most people they don't. Just like when that man asked me the question, didn't I pledge allegiance to America? No soldier pledges allegiance to America. They pledge allegiance to the Constitution. The president didn't uh, take the oath of office to America. He took the oath of office to defend the Constitution. You know what happens when people come in? What is a doctor actually doing when he isolates contagious disease or a person that has a contagious disease from other people? He's actually defending your immune system. He's defending your Constitution. It says, I, and then you put your name, do solemnly swear to affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That being the case, I shouldn't be the only one talking about Scalia and Clarence Thomas and all them people up there that's throwing the Constitution behind their back, thinking that don't nobody know that that's what they doing. That national affordable health care should have been a done deal a long time ago, because the Constitution says that its purpose is to promote the general welfare. That's health, happiness, and long life, everything. Then how is that something that you're going to debate about health care being a right for every American citizen? What are you taking taxes from them for if you don't want to use it for their well-being? So, you know, it's you know, if the truth is against you, you just in trouble. And ain't nothing you can pretend you don't hear me. You can go to sleep. You can do whatever you want. I don't have to see you. Allah see you. You see, who is blind as my messenger? That's what he said. Why? For he shall not judge by the sight of his eyes or by the nothing but what my words say. Even when I hear stupid come out your mouth, I don't pay that no attention. I remember that Allah said that they are an impudent people, stiff-hearted. So it gives them warning from me to try to save their life. And so that's what I'm doing. Not my fault if you didn't pay me no attention. You know, there's in the Holy Quran, in the 45th chapter, entitled "The Kneeling," in the 22nd verse, it says, "And Allah created the heavens and the earth with truth. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God." We created the heaven and the earth with truth. the heavenly knowledge and the earthly knowledge. And we did it all with the truth. You see? It says, and that every soul may be rewarded for what it has worked for what it has earned. Yeah. And they will not be wronged. You can tell what a person been practicing by what they understand. You offer a person reasonable, something that is reasonable and whatnot, and they don't seem to accept that. It's because they've been practicing unreasonable stuff. So they got an unreasonable mind. They was rewarded with the understanding of unreasonable. You getting what you work for. And so it says, seest thou him who takes his desire for his God? And Allah leaves him in error knowingly. You might have forgot that you said you was my follower and you came to help me, but I didn't. Where was you when I was toting boards on my shoulder and putting up every one of these buildings and just building that you sitting there, and most of it I did it. I was on my knees left down here. It may not look like much to you. Where was you at when I was driving back and forth across this country, going to see about people and whatnot? And then I asked, you say you come to help me, and I asked you to do something to help. I don't want to do this. Well, what you tell me you came to help me for? You're a hypocrite. And frankly, I'm getting sick of you. I use my talents to do, whether I like it or not. If I'm able, I used it to do what I'm supposed to be doing. That's the way men do. That's the way grown folks are. I know how, therefore God didn't give it to me for me to go hide it under, bury it in the earth. He gave it to me to use in his service. I'm a soldier in the army of Almighty Allah. I'm just like when I was in the Marines. You think I enjoyed being in Vietnam? I was ordered to go. I accepted them orders and went on. Brothers was out there in the bush following their orders. They were shooting and I was fixing their weapons. Black, white, didn't make no difference. If you was in the army, you was using whatever you was trained for, whatever skill that they gave you, you used it in the service of the military, of the President of the United States. And wasn't nobody talking about, I want to go, and went to the you remember when you saw General Patton and that fellow was sitting up there crying and talking about you ain't the only one scared. And he told him I was trying to make a man out of him. What everybody that's getting shot at is scared to die. Don't nobody want to die. But we don't need you over here whimpering like we ain't in the same boat you in. My thing was, I'd be running sometime in boot like I was about to pass out, and I'm looking at the man next to me. I said, if so-and-so can make it, I can make it. I wasn't going to be the one couldn't make it. If Jesus could stand up and face it until he passed, if Moses could do it until he passed, if David and Solomon and remember what Paul said? I have kept the faith. Huh? He didn't say I have lost my faith. He said I have kept the faith. I have finished the course that I was sent here to teach. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad stayed on the job until he was properly relieved. He said, come on in, brother. What? Have a seat. What seat? I'm getting ready to vacate this. If they could complete their work and be faithful in spite of a world that hate them, so can I. People try to, don't be coming to me with no excuses. If I say about people who was there with the messenger and they showed me that they didn't really believe because they don't accept me after he told them I was coming. They didn't believe in him. He said, if you don't accept him and what he was teaching, that don't get it. I wasn't worshiping his flesh. I honored his flesh and I worshiped what he was teaching. And no matter how much I grieved over him not being here, I didn't use that as an excuse to go lay down with the people that rejected him and talk about, well, it's over now. The hell it is over. You'll see. That's when it's gonna be over, when hell is done and then took everybody that Allah wanted him to take. Then it'll be over for you and just beginning for me and those with me. If you think that I'm going to be discouraged simply because you walk out on me, that you keep thinking that. You better go back and study how I started. And they had a song in church. I ain't in no ways tired of obeying Allah. I'm just tired of foolish people who claim to believe when really in their heart don't. That's what I'm tired of. Now, either get all the way in or get all the way out. You see, what do we say in our prayer? Surely I have turned myself. Even that little song we used to sing, the hokey pokey, put your whole self in or put your whole self out. And if you put your whole self in, that means not just your body, but your mind. And you concentrate on whatever it is you're talking about, moving and shaking. Shake it all about. Well, move and shake all about what we are about. You know, and you know, if people that wasn't around when before there was television, say if you 120 years ago, if you had showed up and put a television out in front of people and said, watch this, or just kept it in your pocket and you could have convinced them people that you was a magic or you was a god or whatever. Huh? Because things that men deem impossible, if God is with you, all those things are possible. And to other people, they look like hocus pocus. But you know that everything that is in effect had a cause. With truth, we created the heaven and the earth. And so, not my desire, but thy will be done. That's what the messengers of God taught you. Because Allah's desire is that we have a peaceful and happy life. And if Allah gave us everything we desired, we would be miserable people. We got a man who got everything, got the world in a terrible condition. And you say the same thing like the people of that I watched getting high. He couldn't handle it. I can handle it. Famous last words. You think you the first one that said he could handle it. So as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, he gave them over to a reprobate mind. Let's stand and hand. Attention. Original salute. Ready front. Prayer position. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. And I bear witness that I know of none who deserves to be served or worshipped beside thee. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, all holy praise is due and be to thee, O Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful Master of the Day of Requital. Thee do we serve and thee do we beseech for help. O Allah, please continue to guide us and keep us on the right path and way, the straight path and way of thee and those upon whom thou hast bestowed thy favors, not the crooked paths and ways of Satan and those upon whom thy wrath is or will, nor the foolish paths and ways of those who go astray or who are led astray, even after they've heard and been given the true understanding of thy holy word and teachings. Truly, I have again turned myself to thee, O Allah, striving to be totally upright, to thee who originated the heavens and the earth. And I am not of the polytheists. Truly, my prayers, my sacrifices, my life and my death are all for thee, O Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate hast thou, in this am I commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King. I know of no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been greatly unjust to myself, and I confess my faults and weaknesses. So please grant me and my true followers and family continuous protection against all of our faults and weaknesses. For none grants protection against faults and weaknesses but thee. And guide us to and instill within us the best of moral character and thoughts. For none can guide us to and instill within us the best of moral character and thoughts but thee. And turn us away from and remove from us the evil and indecent moral character and thoughts. For none can turn us away from and remove from us the evil and indecent moral character and thoughts but thee. And O Allah, please continue to guide us among those whom thou hast and wilt guide aright, and preserve and perfect us among those whom thou hast and wilt preserve and perfect, and befriend us among those whom thou hast and wilt befriend, and bless us in whatsoever thou dost grant to us, and deliver us from the evils of what thou hast judged. For surely and truly thou judgest, and there is none that can judge against thee. And truly he whom thou befriendest is not disgraced. And O Allah, please keep us in our right minds at all times, and let us not be or cowards, and remove from us the evil state of mind and thoughts of devils, and place within us the righteous state of mind and thoughts that are in accord with thy Christ. Amen. Attention. Hut. Original salute. Ready front. You may be seated. Did you have anything you wanted to ask me before I let you go? I want you to remember, keep up prayer. The reason that, as I told you, the messenger said the judgment. He said, don't hurry for that day because you're living in it. And if you think that you will be happy, you better make sure you be righteous. You got time. You do like that song that's Sister get it together while you have the time. You got to change what's in your secret thoughts, what's in your heart. You have to change your mind. How do you change what's in your heart? What's in your heart? What does your heart do? And you better change what you let yourself pump through your head. How you gonna change your mind if you don't change what you reading and what you letting people feed you? Sitting up trying to do what I do, you can't do what I do. You better concentrate on what I'm teaching you instead of going ahead with all this garbage that these people got going out here. You can't disseminate that knowledge. And you're very foolish to be sitting up there trying to take all that stuff in. Do you not see these people got more insane asylums in this country than any place on earth? You know, the problem with eating everything and everywhere, you wind up needing to expel a lot of waste. And when you can't expel it all, it goes backing up on you and poison your system. It's just like you heard me say a long time ago that a policeman, only kind of people he see most of the time is he see the worst in people. And pretty soon, if he don't get around and broaden his horizons, get off work, come out working 2 and 3 shifts because you need money, you better get yourself out of there and go and get around regular folks and realize that the world ain't just full of crooks or criminals, because pretty soon treating everybody like they are criminals, even when they are not. you become cynical because you've been eating too much of the wrong knowledge. Because the scripture says, as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge. What, you think you have greater understanding of the world than I do? Allah is with me. Who's with you? He told you to trust my judgment. His name shall be called Wonderful Counselor. The first thing the judge asks you, have you obtained counsel? Have you retained a counsel? And when you have counsel in there, and you go to say something, the judge say, hey, you have an attorney here. He speaks for you. Unless you plan on representing you. Do you honestly think you can navigate through the devil's world without the counsel of God? God is the only one that make an enemy that only he can deal with. God is the only one that the devil ever said, my Lord, to. You ain't never heard this white man advise black people that talked against him, other than they told them they had better follow Elijah, and you heard him tell you that you better follow me. And he said, I'm not coming back in here no more. It's just as good as to say, well, I done told him, but I'm through with it. I'm not going to help you convert them. Because all that don't go with you, you said they mine. So you go on. You thought that was the white man. That was the mind that we put in the white man talking. You ever known anybody that had power that wanted to give it up? That mind been ruling in human beings for a long time. They don't want to just give it up. The messenger said he's not going to just give up his seat. You got to take him out of the seat of authority. I took the book out of his hand. He don't try to come in here and argue the book with me, which means I took the book from him. Allah told me, take the book and eat it up. So I took it. And he said, go speak with my words unto them. So I'm doing that. Now, if I wasn't doing that, then you could go in there and say, well, why ain't you doing what they say here? You can't go in there and ask me why I'm not doing what it says, because I'm doing everything it says. Ain't my fault because this can't be true as far as your head go. So, what can I do? So, just remember, I know you are Abraham's seed. It has yet to be determined who Abraham's children are. Abraham, he went up in Allah's face and why me? Why me? Abraham that I hear and I obey. That was that. You know, all of our Lord's messengers, they were Muslim. They wasn't uh, completed, but they were Muslims. That's why they told you, and look, behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we are become the sons of God. But it don't yet appear what we gonna be. It don't yet appear righteousness yet. But we shall be like him when he appears. So we are we keeping track of what we're doing. It may seem like I'm not keeping track of what I'm doing, you know, and what you're doing too. And of what it said would be done, and what that's how I determine and know what I'm looking at. Ain't no judge sitting up on the bench winging it. He makes law, he makes rulings and sentences based on what he knows the law says. You see? So Allah hold me responsible for delivering clear message to you. He hold you responsible to obey me. If you disobey me, then well, he gave me authority, and I'm exercising my authority. But I'm not no tyrant, and so I, give people the same mercy and courtesy that Allah bestowed on me in my ignorance. But he warned me, so I'm warning you. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know, the evil that come to you is from who? Yeah. You see, the world full of people who looking for somebody to blame for what they chose. You know? So just follow. Once you really make it up in your mind that that's what you're going to do, you'll find peace. Just that simple. Ain't hard to follow. It's the only thing I ask you to do is whatever you can do. If you know how to do it, I ask you, well, use that to help me. That's a simple thing to do, is use your talent to help accomplish whatever the one who's leading trying to get you to do. If I was asking you to do something you can't do, I could understand you saying, oh, no, I can't. But you too lazy to use the talent as a skill that I gave you, that you've manifested that you have? Okay, right on. Okay. Have I ever made an excuse or used my family or anybody an excuse for me not being where I'm supposed to be and doing what I'm supposed to do? Have I ever? Have you ever heard me use my family as an excuse as to why I couldn't keep my duty? Do you honestly think that I accept that from you? My life and my death is all for Allah. Now you fix it how you want. But I mean that when I say that. That ain't no. And my family understand. That's the best gift I could give to my family, is to make sure that they understand that we worship Allah. other. So I don't care how many trees you see out there in the forest. They ain't living off of somebody else's roots. They living off their own roots. Your father's faith can't save you. You got to have your own. Am I clear? You teach our children to trust in the Lord just like you. That way, if you fall, they won't. If you love them, you shouldn't want them to fall. All right. Any questions? May Allah safe and in our right minds. We got business we got to go take care of. I just asked, was there any question?
I just kicked it in. I was doing something else. My name is Brother Perry Jones from Detroit.
Yes, sir.
And I want to tell you, man, just like how you feel about, I love, Elijah, I was talking about you when you first came to the land, whatever. And you told my story. I was thinking you talking about me, especially this time you said, if you take a medication, take the medication. If it's too low, if it's too much time, cut it down. But I take medication. I tell you, I know to clean everything. So, I know you can go to him, man. I gave the money to Brother Derek the other day. I was on 18. And I just want to say, thank you, sir. I didn't say I love something later, man, but I love you.
I love you more.
And everybody in our little group, all the international, new nation people that's sitting there. I sit there for 10 years before I got able to start paying something.
Well, I want all of you. I want all of you who are on any kind of medication.
No,
you take your, listen to me. If any of you that's on doctor's meds, if the doctor puts you on those meds, you make sure that if you get off of them, it's because the doctor took you off of them.
Correct. That's what I heard that. Oh, man.
Am I clear? All right. You don't take yourself off of your medication.
No.
Because, you know, it's some terrible stuff going around now, and Allah, He put knowledge in people's head to enable them, some of you that was unfortunate enough to be afflicted with some of the stuff. It's just like when when it rains.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
It don't just rain on wicked people's houses. It rain on righteous people. When the city get rained on, everybody in the city gets some of that rain.
Yes, sir. I'm a military man.
Okay, well then
It never rained at all. It never rained at all.
So if you understand that it rains on everybody, then you should understand that when they have medications that help to keep your electrolytes in your brain and everything in proper order, you should take your medicine.
Excuse me, sir. I know you got to go. Maybe I should call you because I want to tell you what my diagnosis is.
Okay, well, you can do that at another time. That's not everybody's business. Okay. All right. No, you don't get into no public forum talking about your private business.
Okay, may I say one last thing, sir?
What is it, brother?
My birthday is June 18th. Paul McCartney's birthday is June 18th. I can play all the music and write and do all that. And I gotta go, brother. I love you, son of man. One for you, I wouldn't even kind of bigger school and saxophone and stuff I know. And anyway, I'm for you. And everybody, may Allah bless everybody that tuning in today. Thank you, sir.
All right, brother. So you all just remember to keep up prayer. And remember, we all got our own crosses, afflictions that we have to bear. That's why it's written, take up your cross and follow me. It ain't a so-called Negro in America that ain't got mental issues. thing about the Muslims, we know we do have them. And when you know them with you, then at least you know you're not crazy. You go to any mental institution, those people in there have not the slightest clue that there's something wrong with them. They think everything's fine. All right. May Allah, assalamu alaikum.